everybody, I'm Meena, and I just love talking about a bunch of stuff, and since not everybody is available to talk to me when I want to talk about stuff, and not everyone is ready to be a coaching client and in this exact moment, I thought I would come to you via the internet with a YouTube channel. There's a billion YouTube channels. I know, maybe you'll come across this, maybe you won't. It's totally fine. Maybe this is just like me processing things for my own enjoyment. But let's say you are there. Today, we're going to talk about building your self-confidence. So, how do I build my self-confidence, you ask? Well, this is straight from my training and being a certified Dragontree Life Coach, which is there's 4 steps to building your self-confidence. Number 1, you have to build your self-trust. You need to be able to know you're going to do what you say and say what you do. And if there's somebody who knows that, it's me. So we all have that issue, right? Like you say you're going to do something and maybe you just like have all this guilt come up around like maybe you didn't do it. Everybody has that probably at some point, but you need to get over it and start keeping your agreements. And if you keep your agreements time and time again, you'll learn for yourself that you have the ability to depend on yourself. And if you can depend on yourself, then other people know that they can depend on you. And that is very important. I'm not 100% in this either by any means, but I'm working on it. And I'm going to talk about a real life example of this. I'm going to just get through the four little pieces first. Big, huge pieces. So the next one is self-trust. And self-worth. If you cannot keep your agreements to yourself, you're going to feel crappy about it. You're going to feel like a garbage person. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to feel like a garbage person. So when you start to keep your agreements and you're starting to build your self-trust in that area, that does like bolster your self-worth and already like in that piece right there. And the next is to feel really competent about what you are going to be going in, which is so funny because I didn't seem like I was like competent, but you know, you don't have to be perfect. I didn't say perfection. So feel like you have some level of competence about what it is that you are dealing with. And when you don't have competence, maybe it's because you need training. Maybe it's because you need practice, like doing this right here. Maybe it's because you actually don't have the needs for those things, but you haven't reassessed how you feel. Sometimes you have all the training that you need, and sometimes you have all the skills that you need, but you haven't like re-evaluated how you feel about it. So you're working from an old paradigm where you're like, I don't know anything. So don't do that. Like move forward, reassess. Do you actually need anything else? Yes? No? Go from there. And then the other thing is when you're scared to do something, kind of like this is a little scary, even though I have 0 subscribers, so it's like risk-free. But if you are scared, you need to build your confidence. How do you build your confidence? Sometimes it's just about doing it. Like, it is about being okay with being really scared and doing it anyway. Being comfortable with being uncomfortable. There's a lot of people who know this is true. And sometimes it's true for different reasons. Like there's this just came up in a conversation I had with a client slash friend last night, where you have to just be comfortable. You're not always gonna be amazing at something the first time. That's totally fine. Maybe you are amazing, but you're just uncomfortable. That's totally fine. But when you are doing those things, then all those are foundational pieces that build on one another. So my example that I was going to tell you about how I was building those skills recently in something for me is first caveat. I totally believe in body positivity. I love myself. I have a lot of body positivity, and I think that you should at any size. It doesn't matter. But I do have some issues around food that were kind of unresolved from my past, like past trauma, not the cute kind of trauma, like trauma. So when I realized that, I was like, okay, you're a life coach. Coach yourself. Do this work. So I started to work on getting really comfortable with being uncomfortable, that I was going to have to dismantle everything that I knew to be true about what I like to eat, when I like to eat, why I like to eat it. Also drink coffee. That was my big thing. Spoiler alert, your attachment patterns can like make you really bonded to something, be it a drug, an alcohol, or a coffee. So that was my former like anxious attachment pattern showing up and making me really love coffee. Actually, it's probably like the disorganized part of my attachment pattern, but heading towards the anxious. So I've been doing work around that, and I have been learning that I can be uncomfortable, that I can set these rules, not rules. I can set some standards for myself about what and when to eat and why, and I can keep those agreements. And when I do that, I can clean the slate of all of the times that I said I wasn't going to eat that gluten-free carrot cake, but did. Hashtag thanks a lot, Grandma. And I can learn that I can trust myself. That I can also say no thank you. Hashtag Starbucks. Nitro cold brew with sweet cream. And I can get control over that. I can say I'm just not going to have those right now, just to prove to myself that I'm in control and those things are not. And I think that it's very important to do that work. And when you start to pick that apart and you learn that you can keep agreements to yourself, you are in control, you do have the skills, you do know what to do, it's okay to be uncomfortable, and it's okay to just keep coming back over and over again until you know that you have those skills like down pat, then I think that that allows you to make healthy decisions moving forward. Now, my issue was about food. That's because that is where I'm at in this journey. That's one of the stones that like needed to be uncovered again. For you, it's going to be something else, most likely. Although food's a big one for people, food and drink. But when you can detangle one issue at a time and tackle that and make some real headway around it, it can be very healthy and healing for your soul and your spirit, your psyche, your conscious, your mind, all those things. But it also just lays down one of those pieces about how you can show up for yourself in the world in a way that makes you feel ready and connected and confident. So The big thing about these things is it is a practice. It's like meditation. No one is good at meditation in the beginning. No one. It's a practice. You keep coming back to it over and over again. Your mind wanders, you come back. Your mind wanders, you come back. And that just keeps happening. And that is not only okay, that is it. That is the practice. Some of you may get to the point where you are a boss at meditating, and maybe it will look more like this. Some of you might not ever get to that, and that's fine too. It's not about being perfect. It is about the practice. And for building a skill, like trying to have self-worth and trying to have confidence, you achieve that by a practice. Some people are better and quicker, like in quotes, faster at some of these concepts than others. Sometimes there's a lot of uncovering to do. You may need to journal about it. You may need to meditate upon it. You may need to talk to a counselor or a life coach or a partner or friend, or just when you're in the car, talk about it out loud. But a lot of times there's layer upon layer, like layer, all the way down, that needs to be uncovered. And that's totally fine. Just do your best every single day. Try to put the context of these steps in practice for you. So once again, that is working on your self-trust, your self-worth, your competence, and your confidence, and your courage. Your courage, that will build your confidence. Just remember that you have to just be brave. And you don't have to be perfect. I wasn't perfect right there. That's totally fine. But you can do this work. You can feel better. And I have a feeling I'm going to be revisiting this one later, because I think that so many people have this where their self-worth or lack thereof is like a block where they can't let other things in. So work on these things one day at a time. And actually, if you do have any questions or comments about it, reach out. It would be exciting to know if this reached anybody, if anybody watched it till the end, except for maybe my mom. Maybe she'll watch it till the end. I probably won't. I probably will never watch these. I'm a one and done person. I cannot foresee that there will be like editing or anything happening in these, because I'm not about that life. So let me know. Do you have a question? Do you have a like a deeper need to get into one of those layers? Do you need some more help? I'm just curious. Like, I hope that this was helpful to even one person. If I reached even one person, then I have done my job, because I just want to be of service. So let me know. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.